All right. Hello, good evening, Whitney. I'm going to start class with you. Thanks for being on time. Well, first, we're going to work on this review, but I want to know first, how is everything going with you, Brittany? Is everything okay?
Mm. Hello, teacher. Yes.
Hello. Okay, that's great. Let's start the class then, please, Whitney. Don't forget to turn on the camera and we can begin with this class. As always, we're going to start with a short review. All right, so Whitney, Mariana, you're already here. That's great. I'm asking you also via Zoom to turn on your cameras whenever you're comfortable. And first, you know that we covered one lesson, all right? The first one was referred to, these important words that you need to know, right? But here, you're going to be learning more than only words, some expressions, right? So, neither, to, either. Remember, sometimes you can pronounce these as neither or either. Both, all right, pronunciations are correct. So, let's work. But I'm going to be asking you some questions. Three of you are here. I wanted to play like this little game that I have, but let's do it anyway. All right, I'm going to be asking a question, and the question is going to be for the person that is going to be selected in this roulette or random wheel that I have here. Okay, so the person who is here, it's going to answer the question. Or the next one, only two, it doesn't matter. I think well, it was Mariana. Mariana is not here. So the one that's before and it's close, Whitney. It's going to be with you, please. All right. This is the question, Whitney. We were covering causative verbs also, right? We'd have make, let, help, get, and so on and so forth. What do you remember about causative verbs, Whitney? What do you remember about those verbs?
Okay. The causative verbs is some verbs that when and we can use when I want to say some obligations or persuading someone.
Okay, good. Yes, we use those words related to making right or causing something, all right, or someone to do something. It can vary, right? If you use make, it's going to be different as if you use get, for example. You were using these expressions, right? Obligation and persuasion. Do you remember what are the verbs that we use? One for obligation and the other one for persuasion. What are those two verbs, Whitney?
Obligation, right?
First obligation and then persuasion.
Okay. For example, you make children um, do her homework.
Okay, good. I'm going to change some words, but yes, you're using the correct verb. Make is for obligation. Correct, right? You make, remember, children is plural, right? So you say a child or only children, right? You make a child do, and if you're using children, it's then plural, and then the possessive has to be plural, right? Then it's going to be their, right? So you make children do their homework. Great. Perfect. That's obligation. The last question for you, Whitney. For persuasion, do you remember what's the verb that we use for persuasion? And can you give me a short example?
Okay. Um, for example, the teacher gets 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 me to do my English lab.
Okay. Okay, good. Yes, the teacher gets me like every time, right? Like a routine. The teacher always gets me to complete, you can say, right? To complete the exercises on my English lab. But great. The idea there is perfect with me. Thank you very much. So those were causative verbs. Also, the last class, we were already introducing the next topic, the next lesson, which is going to be, right, these adverbs that we use when we agree with an affirmative statement or with a negative statement, right? So I'm going to select a new person. Of course, Mariana, let me see if you're here. Yes, you're here. Mariana, can you hear me? I see that you're there, but your camera is like black. I think you're having some problems. Can you hear me, Mariana? Okay, I think we're having some problems, right, with the connection. So I'm going to be asking someone else, and then I'm going to ask Mariana. So let me do this. I'm going to meet Mariana, then I'm going to ask her, but let me spin this one more time. Okay, if the person that is selected is not here, it's going to be the next one. Okay, then it's going to be the next person that is Melissa. All right, so Melissa, this question is for you. The introduction for the new topic, right? I like showed you a video. It was a conversation between two people, and they were talking about, right, the similarities or the things they agree with. Do you remember some of the expressions that we use to agree with affirmative and negative statements, Melissa?
For a positive statement was so do I or so am I.
Correct. Very good.
And for negatives, it was neither do I. I don't know if it can be neither was I. I don't know if it is other expression, but no way, as was
Yes,
said.
that's going to be a different expression, Melissa. That's going to be something different. But the examples that you gave me were great. So do I, so was I, so am I, right? And neither do I, neither was I, etc. Right? Those are correct. No way it's going to be something different. It's more like showing like surprise, or it's going to be some kind of uh, emphasis that you're going to give to an idea, right? But great. Thank you very much, Melissa. Yes, those are some expressions, and actually, you don't need to know now because that's what we're going to learn today. All right, this was like a short introduction again, and there you go. This is today's topic. All right, so neither to either. I already showed you, and we already talked about these first two ideas, right? You told me, I remember that I asked you, and you told me that you say me too, for example, right? When you show agreement with an affirmative statement, me too. But you know that me too, it's kind of informal, right? It's informal if you say me too, me neither. It's valid, all right? Of course, it's not incorrect, but it's informal. So to get the formal ideas, the formal expressions that we need to use for agreement, it's going to be, well, this class. Let's begin by this introduction, and please, Luciana, you're going to help me with this short introduction.
Okay, introduction. These words can be used to show agreement with an affirmative or negative idea by following a specific order using the auxiliary verb and the subject. For affirmative ideas, so and to, and for negative ideas, neither, either.
Sorry. Okay, very good. Thank you, Luciana. You're right. So we have four words that we're going to be using, right? You saw those words in the title, right, of this unit. So, to, and neither, either. Affirmative and negative ideas and showing agreement. Remember, it's okay to say me too. It's okay to say me neither, but it's very informal. And if you're going to be asked to agree with something, you have to be formal, right? At least in tests, international tests, or even in a formal situation, for example, at a university, right? You're not going to answer if you go to study to the US, you're not going to say me too, right? You're going to use a different expression. Let's learn better. Affirmative ideas. Let's work this with you, please, Sharai, if you can help me with this part. Affirmative ideas.
Okay, affirmative ideas. If one agrees with an affirmative statement, there are two words that we can use, so and to. The order of statements which show agreements is different in both cases. Let's analyze them.
Thank you. So yes, you have to be careful with the order of these statements, all right? When you use the expression with so, the order is different than if you use to. Let's take a look. This is so, and we're going to start with some examples. So, all right, it's the most common word in the formal situation to show agreement with affirmative statements. Lourdes, if you can help me with this part, please.
Okay, so is used to agree with a statement which is affirmative. John, I like pizza. Peter, so do I.
Thank you. Correct, right? And be careful with this. I'm not going to tell you yet because you're going to analyze this later with me also in 10 minutes, I think. Be careful with the tense. All right? So do I. Who can explain this? I want you to explain in your own words, okay, with the knowledge that you have. Why are we using these words over here? Do. If I don't have do over here, right? Why am I using do in this specific expression showing agreement with this affirmative statement? And that question is going to be, let me use this little game that I have so that I can choose, all right? Please be thinking. You need to give me like a real and a good explanation of why, all right, of why. So let me play this one more time. Melissa already answered, so it could be then Sharai, all right? It's going to be with you, Sharai. That's the question. Tell me, please, why? Why are we using do in this specific expression with this idea?
I think we use do instead of the verb. Like in the example, we have like. So we use the auxiliary that is do instead of the verb that is like. I think it's that.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, and you're right. That was a perfect explanation. This is the simple present tense. And what's the auxiliary of the simple present tense? Do, right? And remember, for short answers, for short ideas, you don't use the verb. You don't say so like I, right? That's incorrect. You need to use the auxiliary. And of course, the auxiliary changes. And I'm going to ask you this. Look, I'm changing this and I'm saying she likes pizza. What do I need to change here? Because now this is incorrect, right? Now the expression is incorrect. I know this is simple, but sometimes you need to remember this because, well, you're going to see. This is for you this time, Mariana. I don't know if you can hear me now. Yes, I can see you there.
Yeah. Yes,
Hello,
I can hear.
Very good. So what do you say? Now I changed the subject and of course I conjugated the verb according to that subject. What do I need to change in that expression? So do I, so that it is correct. Because right now it's incorrect if I say it like that. No, actually, this is not going to change. I'm going to also make a different change. Look. And I'm going to say like a different person. That. Now it's going to be incorrect. What do you do over there to make that correct?
So do she likes Pizza. I think that I really don't know, but I think that it needs a two. I always hear that. So do he like so he I don't know.
It's very close. I'm going to help you, Mariana. Let's do this together. Remember this. Look, I'm going to show you the previous example. So in the previous example, it was like this, right? And even I changed this because it can be different, right? But I decided to change it. This was the original example, Mariana. So in the original example is I like pizza, and Peter answers back and he says, so do I. I'm using do because as Sharai mentioned, do is the auxiliary verb that I use with this tense and with this particular subject, I. What auxiliaries or what auxiliary do I use for this subject, Mariana? He. For example, in negative, what do you say? You say he don't know or you say he doesn't know. Which one is the correct one, Mariana?
I think that it doesn't.
Doesn't, exactly. Because with he, the auxiliary needs the third person rule, right? So you don't say he don't, you say he doesn't. It happens the same here. So what do you need to change here to make this correct then with that logic, Mariana? Because this is do, right? But you do not use do with he. What do you use with he?
So doesn't he?
Very close. Doesn't was the example, right, in negative, but this has to be affirmative. So it's going to be only so does.
Does.
Exactly.
So does.
All right. So it depends on the subject that you have here. If the subject is he, she, it, then you need does. If the subject is I, we, you, they, right, then it's okay with do. All right. I don't know if you understand that change, Mariana.
Yes.
Okay.
I understand.
Good. Now, look, I did that because I want you to explore a little bit with this. All right. And in which way? I'm going to be asking you to write examples like this, and you're going to do this right now. Remember that we're still working on this little document. If you can go by yourselves, it will be great. You know that you have to go to Google Classroom, then to go to that little document that is Classwork Unit 1. We're still going to work today here, all right? Classwork Unit 1. I'm sharing here one more time, and I'm sharing it. It's going to be in the chat. Please go to that document one more time. And you're going to do the following. Of course, you see what your partners are doing, right? It doesn't matter. What I want you to do is the following. You're going to write 2 sentences with the agreement using so, but one sentence is going to be in past and the other sentence is going to be in future. All right? I didn't teach you this yet. You don't know how to do it, but you have the knowledge actually to do it. All right? So one more time. You need to write 2 sentences or 2 ideas, like the one in the example. For example, you can say, right, something in past. I watched that movie. And you need to answer the agreement with so. But try to think. I want to see how you're going to do this. If this is for present, all right, if so do I is for simple present, try to think what you're going to do for past and what you're going to do for future. Okay, let me know if you have any questions, please. 2 ideas with the agreement, one in past and one in future. Let's work on that, please. And I'm going to check.
Mr. We need to make a question and answer.
Yes, more than a question, you need to write a statement, right? An affirmative statement, and you need to answer like the agreement to that statement. Like in this example, all right? I like pizza, so do I. So you need to write first a statement in past and the agreement with so, and second a statement in future and the agreement with so. All right?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to start checking some of the job you were working on. So Whitney, I think that you finished. Let's work with your examples, please.
Teacher, I don't finish yet.
You didn't finish yet. All right.
Sorry.
Don't worry. You keep working. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that you did. No, it's okay. Go ahead, please.
So did I.
Then I'm going to start with you. I think I have you here. Melissa, I think you have your two examples, right? If you can read them, please.
Okay, the first one says, Diego, I went to Buenos Aires to a concert. Marcos, so did I. And the second one says, Estefania, me and my siblings will bake a cake for my mom on Mother's Day. And Anna, so will we.
Okay, good. Yes, that was really good. All right. In terms of the expressions, you're doing a great job, Melissa. So did I, so will we. You're using auxiliaries and the verb. That's perfect. I only have one observation, but it's not related to the exercise, to these expressions. Only in this subject, all right? The only change you're going to do in that second statement, Melissa, it's going to be that instead of saying me and my siblings, me is an object, all right? Me cannot be before a verb, all right? Me is always after the verb. So you need to change that to I, and then you need to locate the I after the other person that you're talking about, like this. Instead of me and my siblings, you're going to say my siblings and I. All right? So you need to use the subject, and the subject I has to be at the end. All right, good. But the rest of it, it's great. Thank you very much, Melissa. I don't know if you have any questions about that little correction.
No, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Then I'm going to go with you, I think. Lourdes, if you can also read your examples, please.
Okay, teacher. I used to play volleyball on weekends. So did I. And my brother will go to the cinema next Sunday, so will my sister.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Lourdes. Again, the same logic with auxiliaries, did for past, will for future, because the context, right, is using those auxiliaries. Thank you. Just these little things over there, and that you can use also the definite article over there. But those are details. Thank you very much, Lourdes. Let's go with you, Sharai, now, please.
Okay. The first one is I finished my bachelor degree on business engineering. So did I. The next is she will travel around the world next year. So will I.
Okay, very good. This was a typing mistake, right? It would be like a different preposition over there, right? Good, very good.
Sorry.
Don't worry. Sometimes here also, they say bachelor degree. It's also valid, but sometimes some people want to put that. That can be a little bit more formal, all right? Like bachelor's degree. But bachelor degree, it's not incorrect, all right? And here, sometimes they use the preposition even. Instead of on, most people can be using in that situation, all right? And then you can start your career over there. Good. But in terms of the expressions, so did I, good, the simple present, or sorry, simple past, simple future with will, and simple future in the answer. Thank you, Sherry. I'm going down, and this is going to be, yes, I think this one. Mariana, let's read your examples, please.
Okay, the first one is Mariana, my friends went to concert in Mexico. Andres, so did I. And the second one is Andrea, my sister and I will go to travel to Miami. Jorge, so will I.
Okay, good. Little details, the expressions are correct. So did I, because it is past, simple past, and so will I, because it's future, simple future. Now, some details over here, as concert is countable and it's singular, because you have a concert and you have two concerts, then you need to use the article, all right? The indefinite article, a concert, and then in Mexico, it's correct, just capital letter over there, good. Remember also for I, always capital letter over there. Now my question is here, this seems a little bit repetitive, Mariana, when you say, my sisters and I will go to travel. I would advise something here, and it's, my sisters and I will go to Miami, period, or my sisters and I will travel to Miami. All right, one of those. Because if you say will go to travel, right, two action verbs go into a place, it's like repetitive.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So will go or will travel. And then Miami. Very good. Do you have any questions about those corrections, Mariana? Let me know, please.
Like this, will travel to Miami.
Exactly. Will go to Miami or will travel to Miami, because will go to travel, it's like the same idea. All right?
Okay.
Good. Thank you very much. Now I think, Luciana, let's read yours, please.
Okay. My first example is, I went to the mall yesterday, so did I. And he plays basketball, so will she.
All right, let's analyze this. The first one seems correct. I want, simple past, and the agreement, simple past with did, right? Correct. In the second one, let's take a look. First, you are using simple present, right? You're saying he plays. But then after you use simple present, you are using simple future. Here, all right, when you say this in a short idea, Luciana, it's because you are using like the same tense that the previous person used. But again, if this person is saying he plays basketball, this person is giving an idea that this is our routine. But here, you're not giving the idea of a routine. You are more like giving the idea of a future action that is going to happen after a certain time, right? So in terms of grammar, you need to use the same tense, all right, in the statement that is affirmative, and the same tense in the agreement expression, all right? So if you want to keep this in present, what auxiliary would you use here, Luciana? It says place, right? This is simple present. What
It will
auxiliary?
be so does she.
Yes, exactly. So that's one way of fixing this. You can say, he plays basketball, so does she. Okay? Or the other change that you can make, all right, is the following. You can say, he will play basketball, and then you can say, right, so will she. All right? Because
Ah,
of the
okay.
agreement between the ideas. All right? Good. Do you have any questions about that?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's go with you now, please, Whitney.
Okay, I like it to watch the new movie. So did I. I would like to buy this book. So will he.
Okay, good. Only one detail again. Good. Simple past, liked to watch the new movie. Yes, so did I. Simple past, simple past. Then here, you are using a different model, right? Because will is also a model. Would is sometimes the past of will, but here we're not using past or like different tenses of models. We have to use the same model. So if you want to make this correct, you need to use like the same model. All right, so it would be so would he. All right, so would he. Or again, you can change this to future, simple future. I will like to buy this book, right? But it's going to be weird. So I would advise, yes, keep that model, but the model has to be used in the statement and in the expression that shows agreement. All right. I don't know if you have any questions about that, Whitney.
Nice, I understand.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next part. This is going to be short. First, this is the formula, right? And you did it great. I didn't tell you what to do exactly, but you did it great. So, plus the auxiliary verb, plus the subject. Now you have two. And please, you're going to help me with this. Who's going to be? Okay, anybody? Sharai, help me reading two, please. The definition and the example.
Okay, to is used to agree with a statement which is affirmative. I like pizza, I do too.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, the difference is the order. Here is so do I, and here is I do too. All right, so this will be the formula. All right, the subject plus the auxiliary verb plus to. Please, this is the only thing I want you to do. You don't write a different statement. Work with the statements that you have, but now give me an agreement using this expression. All right, use your two statements. All right, using your two statements, now write an agreement using two. That's the only thing you need to do. Let's do it, please. All right, you have to use this over here. All right. Remember that you need to work with the same statements that you have, right? The same statements that you have. You only need to use, and please look at the example, right? You can use to with longer ideas, right? You can say here, for example, I like pizza too, right? I like pizza, comma, too. It's correct. But please work with this short, all right? With this short expression. I do too. You only need to use the subject plus the auxiliary verb plus to. Okay? Only that. Do not write the complete sentence. It is correct, but here we're working with short expressions, all right, of agreement. So keep it short, please. All right, I'm going to start checking. Some of you wrote different statements. It's not bad. It's good for you for practicing, all right? So it doesn't matter. Let's try to read your examples, please. Sharai.
Okay, the first one is Marco's family traveled to the United States. We do too. The next is my father watched basketball games on TV. I do too.
Okay, good. One little detail in the second, right? If you have that in present and it says my father, then it has to be watches, right? You have two options. It can be past, yeah, but if it's simple present, it has to be my father watches, right? My father watches basketball games on TV. That would be like a general idea, like a description, like a routine, right? It's missing the es of the third person, but then you have subject, auxiliary to, subject, auxiliary to, and it works great. That will be my only observation over there, Sharai. Thank you. I'm going to go now with the next person. I think that you're also ready. Lourdes, let's read your examples now, please.
Okay. I used to play volleyball on the weekends. I did too. My brother will go to the cinema next Sunday. My sister will too.
Great, right? The only thing, we changed the order and we used to. Thank you very much. Melissa, what about you?
Okay. I went to Buenos Aires to a concert. I went too. And then my siblings and I will bake a cake for my mom on Mother's Day. And I put in this one, us will bake one too, because I don't know if it was correct to write us will too.
The correct one here, first, as, all right, this one cannot be a subject, all right? So you can change this to we.
Oh.
That has to be, that's obligatory. But then if you say this, we will bake one too. It's correct, Melissa, all right? It's correct. But to practice this, these are short expressions for agreement. It's enough if you say only the auxiliary, all right? So it's enough with this. We will too, it's more than enough, all right? But of course you can repeat the whole question or the whole sentence if you want, Melissa. You can say we will bake a cake for my mom, right, on Mother's Day too. Or we will bake one too. Both ideas are correct, but this is the best idea for short expressions. Okay, but remember, this is very important. Always we. It happened the same here, right? You cannot use me and you cannot use us as subjects. All right, they are only objects after the verb. Then, if you want to use me or us, they have to be in the subject form, which is I or we. That's it. I don't know if you have any questions about that correction and that recommendation over there. All right, good.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome. Let's go with you now, please, Mariana.
Okay, the first one is Marco. One time I baked a cinnamon rolls, and Mariana, I did too. And the second one is Marco, I like travel, and Mariana, I do too.
All right, let's analyze then these ones. You're using two. First, the structure is correct. All right, the structure is correct. You have subject plus the auxiliary verb plus two. Here is missing one O, right? But it's correct. Now, first, let's start by the last one. What do you need to use here, Mariana? If you are using two verbs, you need to connect those two verbs by using either.
I have.
Tell me, Mariana.
But I think that I think that I like to travel, but I didn't know if it was correct.
Yes, it's correct. And actually, you have two options here, Mariana, because if you use the base form, only the base form, it's incorrect. But you have two ways of making this correct, Mariana. You can say, I like to travel, or you can say, I like traveling. Okay, both are correct. All right, I like to travel and I like traveling. Why? If you only use the base form with the verb like, is considered as incorrect. Okay, you can use infinitive to travel or gerund traveling. All right, that's it.
Okay.
Then tell me, Mariana, tell me.
I have other question. In the first one, put one time I baked cinnamon rolls, but the answer is in past, and I think that the first sentence needs to be in past, but I don't know how to make it.
That's correct. Yes, that was my second observation. In the second one, you have a present idea, then you have a past idea. But of course, both need to agree in tense, right? The past is only with be, baked, all right? You say, I baked, and that's it, all right?
Okay.
And also, this is another or a different recommendation. Don't say one time. It's better if you say once, all right? Once instead of one time, all right? So once, comma, I baked a cinnamon, or here also, this is also a different recommendation. You're saying rolls, but you're saying here a. A is only for singular, so it has to be like this, right?
Cinnamon.
Exactly.
Okay.
Rolls. Like this, right? This will be like the complete idea with all the corrections, okay? Once I baked cinnamon rolls. I did too. Okay? Any questions about that?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, no, you're very welcome. Luciana, if you can read yours, please.
Okay. The first one is I went to a One Direction concert. I did go to. And the second one is Jose. I'm going to La Paz tomorrow for business. My friend will too.
Okay, good. This one is correct. In this one, it's not like the expression of agreement, like the ones we're learning. This is simple past with emphasis, and this sentence is correct like this, all right? I did too. But you only use this structure, Luciana, if you want to put a lot of emphasis in your main verb, which is go. I did go to. It's correct. But in this purpose, all right, for this lesson, Luciana, it's enough with only the auxiliary verb. Because if you use the main verb, the idea of your expression is different. All right, the idea of your expression is different. I did too is more than enough, and my friend will too, it's also more than enough. Good, double beat. Any questions about that?
Then you know it's okay.
Good, thank you. And Whitney, please, let's go with you now.
Okay. She loved it when her best friend come back. I did too. They will enjoy their vacations. She will too.
All right, that's great. All right, I have no observations. Simple past, simple future, and only those three words that we need. Great, that's it. Thank you very much. Then we finish like that with affirmative or right statements and agreements. Now you're going to read this with me, and we're going to be practicing because I'm going to be asking or write anybody about this. You're going to help me in this first part, please. Lourdes, if you can help me with these first three, all right, sections, the simple, present simple with be, and the present continuous.
Okay, present simple, use do, does. Lucy likes coffee, so do I, or I do too. Present simple with be, use am, is, are. John's at the office, so am I, or I am too. Present continuous, use am, is, are. Luke's going out tonight, so am I, or I am too.
Thank you very much. So this is what I was telling you, right? Be careful with the tense. If the statement that you are going to agree, all right, or that you agree with is in this tense, you have to use the auxiliary of that tense. All right, simple present, then use do or does. Simple present with be, then use am, is, are. Present continuous, then use am, is, are. The same. Let's read the last two, please. Sharai, if you can help me with the last two, past simple and past simple would be.
Okay, past simple. Use did. Jill went to the cinema yesterday. So did I, or did I too? Past simple would be use was and where. She was at the library, so was I.
Thank you very much. So you can call it past simple, right? I'm more used to calling this simple past, simple present, but in many web pages, they call it present simple, past simple, right? Both are okay. So for the past simple or simple past, did, and if it's the simple past with be, was or were, right? That is very important. This is just to show you what are the auxiliary verbs that you need to use. And finally, let's finish this up, and you're going to help me this time. Luciana, read these three, please.
Sí. Okay. Present perfect, use have and has. They've been to Colombia, so have I, or I have to. Future simple, use will. Edward will be at the cafe later, so will I, or I will too.
Thank you very much. So now let's practice. I'm also practicing listening with this next exercise. So pay attention. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to go to a different web page. Actually, I'm going to go over here. Over there. Now I'm going to tell anybody that needs to agree with the idea that I'm going to give you. All right, and I'm going to use any tense, and you need to say your agreement with so or with to. Okay, let's give an example. If I say This is going to be very simple, and it's going to be with you, Mariana. Mariana, if I say, I like pasta, how can you agree with my idea, Mariana? I like pasta. What do you say?
I think that I like to.
But using what we learned, because if you say, I like that too, it's correct. But remember, what is the short way to show expression? Do not use the main verb. What do you use? The auxiliary, right? Then what do you say? One more time. If I say, I like pasta, what is the short way to show expression in English? You need to use the auxiliary. What is the auxiliary of the present, the simple present? Remember, how do you say, I like pasta in negative?
It can be in negative is doesn't, right?
Doesn't with he, she, it, and with I is don't. Then your auxiliary is I do, exactly, do and does. Then how do you say, one more time, Mariana? If I say, I like
I
pasta,
do too.
Yes, correct. I do too, or so do I. All right.
So do I.
Do too, or so do I. So that's going to be the exercise. All right. Please pay attention because I'm going to use any tense. All right. This is the next sentence. It's going to be for anybody. And I'm going to use contractions. So pay attention to the verbs. All right. Pay attention to the verbs. This is the sentence, right? I've been to the US before. I've been to the US before. And actually, let me work with this. Okay, think of a way that you're going to show me agreement with the two ideas that we learned. All right, one more time. I've been to the US before. So let's start this again. And this person is going to answer this. All right, I think it's you, Lourdes. So how do you agree with my idea, Lourdes? I've been to the US before.
I am too.
Very close, but one more time, be careful with my main verb and my tense. I'm going to say it like slower. It's I've been to the US before, right? What tense is that? What is the auxiliary of the tense I'm using?
It's
What do you say?
past continuous, I think.
Very close. And yeah, I think be careful because past continuous would be I am being, right? I'm being. But no, I'm not saying I'm being. I am saying I've been. All right. I've been to the US before. What tense would be that one? Try to take a look at that, Lourdes. I'm going to read this one more time. I'm going to spin it. Also the context, all right? The context is going to help you decide which tense this is. Whitney, what do you say? My affirmative statement is, I've been to the US before. I've been to the US before.
I've been to.
And you say to. You're going to see that later. You don't say I've been in the US before. You say to. I've been to the US before. That was a clue. My idea is very similar to in the US before, but because of grammar, you don't say in the US, you say to the US. Okay, so what do you say? I've been, right? Not been, been. I've been to the US before. Try to think. Okay, so also Whitney or Lourdes, if you get the answer, just turn on your microphone and say the answer. All right, I'm going to keep spinning. So I think it's going to be, okay, Melissa. What do you say, Melissa? My sentence one more time. It's I've been to the US before. How do you agree with that idea?
I have to.
Yes, correct. I have to. And what is the other way? Using so. How do you say that with so?
So have I.
So have I. Yes, correct. Now let me write what I was telling you. All right. This was my sentence. Be careful because yes, it can be all right, confusing. But if I say I've, then I'm not saying am, right? Because it's a different sound. Am and I've, right? And be careful with this because this was the confusion. How you're going to read this for me? All right. This is am being, and this is I've been. All right. Am being, I've been. Am being, I've been. Yes, this is continuous. Then here the auxiliary is am, right? But here, what is the auxiliary? Have, because this is the present perfect, right? So if I say, look, you say to the US when you use been in the present perfect, okay? That's a rule that they have in the US. I don't know why, all right? But you say to the US instead of in the US, all right? I've been to the US before. So you need to pay attention to this pronunciation over here and to this time expression, because before it's a time expression for present perfect. So you need to have that very quickly, all right, in your mind, and you need to say, this is present perfect. So the auxiliary is have. It means if you want to agree with this idea, you always have to use the auxiliary, right? As Melissa did, I have to, or so have I. All right, that's very important. You have to use the auxiliary verb, and you need to know very well what tense, all right, this person is talking about. This was hard. I wanted to test you. This is going to be easier. I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm going to say first the sentence. And this is the sentence, all right? I think you've covered this. This is a very interesting tense. I had, all right? I had watched that series before you. I had watched that series before you. Okay, one last time. I had watched that series before you. So I'm going to spin this one more time. It's a different tense, all right? It's not present perfect. It says Lourdes. Lourdes and Melissa participated, so the next person here is going to be Sharai. What do you say, Sharai? What is the affirmative idea that you can give me, or the expression to show agreement to the statement that I just said?
So had I.
Okay, good. So had I. And what is with to? What is the sentence with to?
I had to.
I had to. Now, you're going to spell it. I'm not sure what you're saying. It's so. Can you spell the auxiliary verb that you're using, please, Sharai?
Okay, it's H-A-D.
Good. Very good. Then it's correct. Thank you very much, Sharai. And the next one would be, sorry, I had to, right? Why is had an auxiliary verb if you use the past perfect, right? I had watched that series, right, or series before you. And that's it. And this is the agreement. Why? Because in the past perfect, the auxiliary is had, right? Then the rest of the sentences are easier. If you hear will, your agreement is going to be with will. If you hear the verb to be, your agreement is going to be with the verb to be, right? I'm going to work this now. I'm going to pick one because it's going to be easy. This is for you, Luciana. Luciana, if I say, I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to buy a house, how do you agree with that statement?
Can you repeat, please? I
Yes,
didn't hear you.
of course. The sentence is, I'm going to buy a house. All right, I'm going to buy a house. How do you agree with that statement, Luciana?
Can I say, so I will, or I will too?
Yeah, it's future, but remember, Luciana, you have to keep the same tense because it's future, but I am using future with be going to, and you are using simple future. So they are different tenses. Even if they are future, they are different types of future. What auxiliary do you use for the future with be going to, Luciana? What do you say? It's in my sentence. The answer is in my sentence. Am or I am going to buy a house.
Can I say maybe?
Yes, I'm going to buy.
So am I?
Yes, correct. If you, anytime, Luciana, this is like a trick. If you listen to the verb to be, immediately that's the main verb. Oh, not the main verb, sorry. That's the auxiliary. All right, that's the auxiliary. Anytime you listen to the verb to be, Luciana, that's the auxiliary. It means that your short answer, it's going to be with the auxiliary. So it's correct. So am I, or I am too. All right, I'm going to buy a house. So am I, or I am too. Something very similar, thank you very much. This is going to be for you, Mariana. My sentence is going to be the following, Mariana. All right, it's past. All right, this is my clue. It's past. I was eating pizza yesterday. I was eating pizza yesterday. How do you agree with that?
I did too.
Very close. Very close, but be careful because you have two types of past. You have the past with other verbs, like watched, went, wrote, right? And you have the past of the verb to be, was and were. It's the same idea that I gave to Luciana, Mariana. If you hear the verb present or in past, you have to use the verb to be as auxiliary. So one more time, I was eating pasta yesterday. If you hear the verb to be, use the verb to be as auxiliary.
I don't know.
Look, I'm going to write my sentence. This is my sentence, right? I was eating. All right, I was eating pasta yesterday. Do I have the verb to be here, Mariana? What do you say? Is the verb to be in this sentence?
I need to use am, right? Like.
Very close, yes. But if you have the verb to be, I'm going to give you the answer, right? Yes, we have the verb to be. Why? Was is the past of am. right, is the past of is. So you have the past of the verb to be. This is the simple past of be. So you need to use this verb in the agreement, Mariana, and it has to be in the same tense. So you need to
Okay,
repeat this.
like I was too.
Exactly. Correct. I was
So was I?
correct. Perfect, Mariana. That's right. So be careful. If you listen to was or were, do not say did. All right? Because did is only with other verbs, simple past of other verbs. But the simple past of the verb to be is only was and only were. All right? Was
Okay.
and were. That's it. I don't know if you understand this explanation, Mariana. Let me know, please.
Yes, I understand.
Very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. And this is going to be the last one, all right, because I think you got it already. The last one, and it's going to be for you, let's say, Lourdes, all right, Lourdes. It's going to follow the same idea, very simple, and it's going to be related to past one more time. If I say, right, I wrote an article 2 years ago, how do you agree with that one, Lourdes? I wrote an article 2 years ago.
I did too, or so did I.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Lourdes. So again, be careful with the tense. Look, simple present, do does, simple present with be and is are. Present continuous and is are, right? Past simple, did. Past simple with be, was, were. Present perfect, have. Future simple, will. And then you have other models, all right? Take that into account, please. Now, we're going to work negative ideas. Let's begin with this. And if you can help me with this one, please, Melissa. Negative.
Okay, negative. If one agrees with a negative statement, there are two words that we can use, neither and either. The order of this statement, which shows agreement, is different in both cases. Let's analyze them.
Thank you very much. It's the same introduction as the previous one, but we're changing the words. Neither, either. Also, the order of these expressions, right? It's different. Like in this example, you are going to do something very similar to what you were doing before. And this one, please, if you can help me out, Sharai, neither.
Neither is used to agree with a negative statement. I don't like classical music. Neither do I.
Thank you. So look at the order. You say neither, you use the auxiliary, all right? And this expression is like in the affirmative form, all right? Neither do I. Why? Because this is the structure. Neither plus the auxiliary verb plus subject. Now let's go to either, and we're going to work only two examples later on with these two. Either or either. If you can help me out, Whitney, please. Either. Whitney, are you there? All right, let's work then with you, please. Mariana, if you can help me with either, please.
Okay, either. Either is used to agree with a negative statement. Mark, I don't like classical music. Red, I don't either.
Thank you very much. So be careful with this word, please. Look at the previous examples. This is affirmative, so do I. Affirmative, I do too. Affirmative, neither do I. But either is different. Either is the only one that uses, all right, negative in the structure. I don't either, all right? I don't either. And the structure is this one, right? Subject plus auxiliary verb plus not plus sorry, and here's a mistake. This is eater, right? Plus eater. That is the structure. Now you know how to work. It's the same idea with these two examples, and here you have some examples, right? It's the same as before, but with negative ideas. So what I want you to do, please, all right, go to the file one more time, and let's write only two examples. One with neither and one with either, all right? Try to use different tenses, please. If one is present, the other one has to be past or future or modals or present continuous, all right? Two sentences in different tenses, one with either and the other one with neither. Let's do it, please. Okay, I'm going to start checking what you did, and we're going to see how you're doing. You're still finishing, don't worry, keep working. All right, most of you is missing one sentence. Remember, right? Two sentences, one with either and the other one with neither, different tenses. Let's begin this with you, please, Lourdes. If you can read the two examples that you wrote.
Okay, she doesn't like cats, neither do I. And he won't go to the party, and his girlfriend won't either.
Perfect. Very good, Lourdes. No observations. Neither do I. His girlfriend won't either. We're following all the structure. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go with you. Let me see who finished. I think you're still working, most of you. Okay, I think I have yours. Luciana, let's try to read your examples, please. Are you there, Luciana?
Sorry,
Okay.
my connection is okay.
Okay, don't worry.
The first one is Javier doesn't like coffee. Neither does he. Neither does she. And the last one will be Selena doesn't know how to sing. I don't either.
Good. They are perfect, Luciana. It would be great if you wrote like in different tenses, right? One present and the other one past or future and so on. But you're doing a good job, right? You're
Okay.
using the auxiliaries and they are very well structured. Very good, Luciana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If you have questions, you can let me know. All right. Then I have this one. This is Mariana. Yes. Let's read yours, please, Mariana.
The first one is Mariana, I don't like fish, and Andres, neither do I. And the second one is Javier isn't going to cinema tonight, and the answer is I am not either.
Okay, good. I don't like fish, then neither do I. Simple present with do, right? Very good. And isn't going, then you're using the present continuous, so it's a different tense. That's perfect. I'm not either or either. Good. That's great. Again, I have no observations over here. Just be careful with these capital letters. I don't like fish. Javier isn't going to. Here. Cinema, it's also like an idea that can be like a cinema or the cinema. So you should use one of those two articles, Mariana, all right? A cinema, but I think the best one over here is the, all right? Javier isn't going to
Okay.
the cinema tonight, all right?
To
Good.
cinema. Okay, thank you.
All right, no, you're very welcome. I had yours. I don't know what happened with me. Let's go with you, please, Melissa. Let's read your examples, please.
Okay, first I have Esteban, I don't like loud music. Pablo, neither do I. And then I have Alejandra, I didn't wanna go to my college and get my diploma last Friday. Isabel, I didn't want to go either, but I'm not sure about that last
Yeah,
one.
it's correct. Again, you have many options, Melissa, as I told you. You can write the entire sentence and it's correct. But again, if you want to work only short expressions to show agreement, it's enough if you say, I didn't either. All right? It's more than enough. But you can show the
Okay.
complete idea and it's also going to be correct. But I think in the platform, all right, in Pearson, they are going to ask you for short expressions of agreement. In that case, you don't have to write all the sentence, only the subject, the auxiliary with the negative form, and the expression. And that's it. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. And it was Lourdes, then Sharai, I think you didn't read yet. Yes, let's read yours, please, Sharai.
Okay, my brother doesn't like fish soup, neither do I. I want to do my English homework. I want it either.
Good, great. Present, future, negative statements, and then you have the structures that we need, right? Neither do I won't either. That's all we need. Do you have any questions? This is for all of you, Luciana, Sharai, Lourdes, Whitney, Melissa. Do you have any questions? Let me know, because with this, we are finishing this lesson. I already showed you this, remember? Me too and me neither, they are correct, but they are very informal, okay? They are very informal. So now you know what to say instead of me too and instead of me neither, right? So do so am I do too, I am too, right? Neither do I don't either, right? Neither am I, or I'm not either. You know how to express agreements in a formal way. Any questions, let me know, please. If you want to practice more, you know that I always give you like extra exercises here. You can go to any of these links and you can practice more if you want. But now and today, I would like to do something. I'm going to introduce you to the next lesson. I'm going to show you a video. It's going to be interesting. We're going to do the same we did last class. But before that, I'm going to assign the quiz. Remember, today is the last day to complete the assignments of the first unit, right? Today at 11:59 p.m., the last chance. So you can still do it if you didn't complete them yet. But right now, as you can see, I'm assigning the first quiz. Please take this into account. This quiz, it's going to be, for everybody, and it's going to be until Wednesday. All right, Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. The first quiz. You can take it today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. But you don't know, once you open the quiz, you only have 50 minutes, all right? You only have 50 minutes to complete it. It means that you cannot do something today, then something else tomorrow, and then finish it on Wednesday. No, you have to finish that at once, right? And that's it. That's it in terms of the quiz. Then it's assigned. Please be careful with that. Today,
I have one question.
tell me,
Today,
Luciana.
I received the instructions for join me to this section, and I want to know if we only have that homework, or do we have more? Because only I'm going to join me today because my mom wasn't paid early.
Okay, don't worry, Luciana. I'm going to see that very well with management. I believe that I'm going to be able to reassign these assignments for you. All right. The quiz is going to be until Wednesday, but I'm going to see what's going to happen in your case. Perhaps the first assignments are going to be like extended, all right, and you're going to have until tomorrow or Wednesday to finish those completed assignments.
I can do it for tomorrow, but I don't know how many assignments are.
Look, it seems that there are a lot. I'm going to show you, all right, sorry for the rest, but it's going to be very short. I'm going to select this, except this. Look, it says that there are like 40 assignments, but look, Luciana, it's not like there are like 40 big assignments. Some assignments are like this one. I'm going to show you. Learn objectives. It's something that you open and you only need to read and you close it and the assignment is done. Other assignments are very short texts that you need to read. All right, you only need to read those texts. All right, I don't know what's happening. Please give me a second. I'm going to open this one more time. But in total, 40, Luciana. All right, 40, but they are short. Again, some of them are only to explain what you need to do, and some other assignments like this. For example, this is one assignment, Luciana. You only need to read what you're supposed to do this unit. You close that, and then the assignment is complete. Some other assignments are like this one. Let me show you. Okay, it says vocabulary. You open vocabulary, And you see this? It's a very simple exercise, Luciana. As you can see, you only need to select, right, what they are telling you. You complete that, and that's a different assignment. So in total, again, you have 40. I'm going to see with management, all right, what's going to be the due date for you. Perhaps it's going to be tomorrow or maximum Wednesday, but the quiz is going to be the same date for you as well, Luciana, Wednesday at 11:59. All right?
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I'm going to do it right now to that.
Perfect. Do it, please. I'm going to verify again one time with management, and I'm going to let you know via WhatsApp what's going to be the due date. Okay? Good. Now, with the rest of you, I think everything is clear. Now, please, let's go to this little introduction that I want to do before finishing today's class. We have 10 more minutes, so I want to use those 10 minutes in watching this video. All right. Again, what you need to do is listen, all right? Try to understand as much as you can and try to explain what this video is about and what they are talking about. There's a very specific topic. I think there's like this advertisement. Okay, skip that.
As you watch this video, look out for
There you go.
as well.
So I'm going to start. This is a conversation between two people, all right? Try to pay attention, please. I'm going to be asking questions to anybody, all right? So please, Luciana, Mariana, Sharai, Whitney, right? Try to pay attention. I'm going to ask some questions. So there you go. Let's begin.
So what are you going to do when this is all over?
The quarantine?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to start going to work again, but I don't think I'm going to be taking the train.
Okay. I'm going to repeat that one more time.
As well.
So what are you going to do when this is all over?
The quarantine?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to start going to work again, but I don't think I'm going to be taking the train anymore.
Okay, good. I'm going to start asking some questions now. The first one is going to be for you. Let me see who's here. Mariana, let's begin with you. What are the words or ideas that you were able to understand in this short part of the video, Mariana?
I hear that she asks what he going to do when the quarantine ends, and he said that he needs to work. He needs to back to work.
Okay, okay, very good. Yes, she's asking for activities, right, when the quarantine is like over, right, and he's mentioning work. Very good. Any other words or expressions before that or after that, Mariana?
I think that I hear that I need to back to work.
Okay, good, good. We're going to analyze that later, little by little. That was great, Mariana. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
With this one with you, Melissa. What other words or expressions were you able to hear?
Not a lot. I only got to hear the when all of this is over, and like at the end he said something like check the train.
Okay.
Or
good.
I don't know.
Very good. The first
was
expression is perfect. Yes. In the last part, they mention a train, or he mentions a train. That's right, Melissa. The words that he uses around the word train are different, but it's something important. Try to relate the train with the quarantine, all right? Or how's the train, all right? The structure of a train. Do you think that he's going to be willing to take the train or not? Right? That more or less the idea goes there. But the first expression was perfect, right? When all this is over, right? They are talking about the quarantine. Thank you, Melissa. One more person, and it's going to be you, Lourdes. What do you say about this conversation? Any extra information that you can give us, Lourdes?
No, teacher, I think that my classmates said everything in this part that I already listening to. So I don't have more information about this part.
Okay, good. Don't worry. Yes, the main part was already mentioned. I'm going to play one more time, then you're going to answer something else, but I'm going to be repeating the words that they use. Thank you. Listen here.
As well.
So what are you going to do when this is all over?
Right? The first question, so what are you gonna do when this is all over, right? This is future, right? What are you gonna do when this is all over?
The quarantine?
Yeah.
Right? The quarantine.
Well, I'll have to start going to work again.
And he's using simple future, right? I'll have to start going to work again, right? I'll have to start going to work again.
But I don't think I'm going to be taking the train.
And this is what you were saying, Melissa. He's mentioning the train, but he says, but I don't think, right? I don't think I'm going to be taking the train, right? So he doesn't want to take the train after the quarantine. And of course, because of obvious reasons, right? The train, if you once been in a train, the train is always, right, crowded. So let's keep listening. I'm going to play this one more time. Well, actually, this is a new part. Try to get new ideas. After I play this, I'm going to be asking first Lourdes and then two more people, and we finish the class. Okay, we have 5 more minutes. In these 5 minutes, we're going to do this.
Why?
Anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of people on the train, and I know that if people are going to be really close together, then I'll be nervous.
Do you think people will keep wearing
Oh,
masks?
I think people will keep wearing masks, but there's going to be a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
So
there, I'm going to repeat that one more time. Please pay attention.
Why?
Anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of people on the train, and I know that if people are going to be really close together, then I'll be nervous.
Do you think people will keep wearing
Oh,
masks?
I think people will keep wearing masks, but there's going to be a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
So, up to that part, now let's begin this one with you, please, Lourdes. What do you say about this new part after the comment, right, that he's not going to be taking the train anymore? What else can you hear after that?
He says that the reasons why he will not taking the train, and he mentioned that for example, that he will be so nervous because there will be a lot of people in the train. And he said too that maybe many people will be wearing a mask, but others maybe will not wearing a mask, and that he will do her best. I think that was an expression.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Lourdes. You got a lot of information. Good. Reasons for not taking the train, right? Explanation of how he's going to feel, and he's or she's asking some other questions, and they are talking about also masks, right? I'm going to ask some way to confirm that idea or the idea that you gave me, Lourdes, with Sharai. What do you say, Sharai? Were you able to hear to anything else? Do you agree with Lourdes, or do you believe that some information was different?
Well, I agree with Lourdes because the man, could we say that he's afraid about using the train because he mentioned about that many people will really close together, and that's it, I think.
Good. Thank you very much, Sharai. Look, we're going to continue watching this video because I think it's really interesting, the things they talk about, the vocabulary they use. But the last question, let me see first. Whitney, are you there? I think Whitney is not there anymore. So I'm going to go back to you, please, Melissa. All right, this is a general question, Melissa. What is the tense that they are using in general? And what are some expressions, right, that they can be using with future? What do you say?
I mean, the tense for me is like future because they are talking about what will they do. I don't know, some expressions. So like the ones that we saw previously could be so will I, or neither will I. I don't know if that's correct, but something like that.
Okay, thank you very much, Melissa. Correct, right? The main tenses that they are using, future, simple future, the future would be going to, even the future with the present continuous, and they are using some expressions or some even clauses that we're going to be learning. All right, that was the introduction for this one, future time clauses. We're going to check this in detail, all right, on Wednesday. But it's important that you can understand what words you can use when you talk about future. For example, when, while, before, after, as soon as, until. That's an example, okay? And again, I'm just giving you the introduction because we finish the class here. That's going to be the next topic. Do you have any questions about today's class? Let me know if you do, please. Remember then the following. Try to finish taking the assignments, right? And take the quiz. You have until Wednesday, right, at 11:59 p.m. to take it. So as always, let me share the poll with you. You know that you finish filling out this poll or this survey, and then you can leave the class. But in the meantime, it's loading again. If you have any questions, comments, or observations, please let me know. It's taking some minutes to send the poll. Okay, there you go. You must be able to see it. Let's fill it out, please. And that will be it for today. Thank you for being in today's class. And I'll see you tomorrow for the conversations and Wednesday for the next class. All right? Have a good night. Bye-bye, girls.
Good night,
Bye,
teacher.
teacher. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.